All right, friends, we back again with the Rasta Clot himself, Bomba Clotman. It's Jason Blaha, the fitness gym slave influencer himself, bro. All right, I'm going to review this video with you today. Let's see what he says. Jason Blaha says, why my generation had higher strength standards versus today. Him and his fucking strength. I think people are. Bro, I don't know what's the matter with people today. Young people, when you're young, you're strong. You're strong. You're young. You can climb. You can run. You have power. You have strength. When I was young, it was endless energy. Kids have endless energy and endless strength. There's no such thing as you're weak. It just means you may not be good at doing that one thing. I'm going to tell you something. If a person can lift a heavy weight in the gym, but they cannot run 100 meters in 10 seconds, does that mean they're fucking weak? Does that mean they're weak? If they can't do gymnastics, does that mean they're weak? Or a guy that does gymnastics but doesn't lift a heavy weight, does that mean he's weak? No, that just means they practiced at being good at doing that, whatever it is that they're doing there. Get it, dude? I didn't really care what people say out there about my. Listen, I've been attacked about what I'm doing now on my channel. Some new exercises I've never done before. Of course, I'm going to be shaky on them. I'm not coming on my channel to look perfect or look beautiful. I have to look good, so I have to go back a bit in weight so I can look nice and pretty and perfect for my channel. I'm trying to get new adaptations. What the fuck do I care about my channel? Who's watching? If they want to watch, watch. If they don't want to watch, then they won't watch. It's up to them, bro. It's my life, it's my body, and I choose to do what I want with it in the gym and how I get my adaptations. I only care about what I look like in the street when I walk around. I don't give a shit about the gym. I told you, gym is 5 minutes. The rest of your life, you're out in the street. People do not respect little people. They only respect big, strong people in this world. And the taller you are, that you get better jobs. Bigger people, taller people get better jobs. That's all. That's just how society operates. Now let's review this video about, why my generation had higher strength standards versus today, which is just stupid idiot, more idiot shit by Jason Blaha.
Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. I thought I would sit down, do another video for you guys and gals. Let me get a sip of my water. Get my radio voice going and let's talk about this. You know, speaking of the last video I did, and I would segue into this one immediately. You know, One of my clients had said, hey, and actually a couple of them have, they're like, you always talk about back when you were younger, guys, before they went on anything, right, before they cashed in their natty card, there was an expectation that you would bench 300, squat 400.
What is this? I gotta give up my natty card. Are people really that retarded out there in the world these days? Are they so artificial that they have to do everything artificial in their life? Like they can't do anything real. Well, I gave up because I couldn't get stronger. I couldn't build myself up. It's called an adaptation process, okay? It's everywhere in science and I can prove it. Look, even it tells you right here, but just looking at something right now, because I might post something on my channel. Just this alone, it tells you. Right here, exercise-induced muscle damage. What does that mean to you? And then it says exercise-induced muscle damage, repair, and adaptation. Damage, repair, adaptation. See that? A study examined exercise-induced muscle damage, repair, and rapid adaptation. How do you get an adaptation? How do you get an adaptation in muscle repair and growth? Repair and remodeling. How do you get it? It's easy. Exercise-induced muscle damage repair. Guess what it does? Rapid adaptation. There's a rapid adaptation when you get what? Exercise-induced muscle damage repair. You get it, bro? Yeah. So I don't know what else to tell you on that one. It's really simple. It tells you here, recent study. The regard to the ability of a muscle to what? To adapt to exercise-induced what? Damage. Suggests that an adaptation takes place such that the muscle is more resistant to what? Is more resistant to damage and any damage that does occur is repaired at a faster rate. It is also clear that a relatively small insult will produce what? This adaptation. That's why you're not growing. Man, I think people just really don't understand what this is. They don't understand this. Here's another one here at the bottom. Exercise-induced muscle damage repair and adaptation in old and young subjects. Again, they tell you it's an adaptation. Effects of a second bout of maximal eccentric exercise on muscle damage and electrography activity. And then there's isokinetic as part of damage as well, eccentric damage, meaning consistency. It's something, it keeps going, it's perpetual. Recovery at static dynamic muscle performance. They always tell you exercise-induced muscle damage, rapid adaptation. There's so much on it that, I mean, does science tell you what builds muscle? Yes. There's reduced force capacity. Here's another one. Mechanisms of stretch-induced muscle damage in norm and dystrophic. What is this? Muscle damage characterized by the prolonged weakness and delayed onset of stiffness and soreness is common. There's weakness, soreness, reduced force capacity. You can read this as well. I mean, man, there's so much science on it, how muscle is built. It's ridiculous. PVZ site is overloaded. Too many requests. Well, there you go. Just goes to show you how many people are reading about muscle damage. It's overloaded. I can't even get into the site. It's ridiculous. Let me see if I could get in there now. I mean, so many people are accessing it at the same time. It's crazy. It's because they're learning. Do you think people don't understand what this means? Mechanism of stretch-induced muscle damage, norm and dystrophic muscle. Okay. Muscle damage, characterized by prolonged weakness and delayed onset of stiffness and soreness, is commonly following contractions in which the muscles are stretched. Stretch-induced damage of this sort is more pronounced in the muscular dystrophies, and the profound muscle damage observed in these conditions may involve similar pathways. Yeah, it comes with reduced force capacities, a whole bunch of stuff like, what is this? Tribute to reduced force production, to increase protein breakdown, and to increase membrane permeability considered. There's a whole bunch of stuff here. There's a decline in performance as well. Any period of intense or prolonged muscle activity can cause a decline in performance, which can be measured as muscle what? Weakness. By definition, if the weakness is largely reversible in minutes or hours, it is described as fatigue. Well, there you go. That would just be fatigue. If the weakness is slowly or poorly reversible and associated with structural changes within the muscle, it is described as muscle damage. See that? Structural changes, muscle damage. But muscle fatigue arises principally within the muscle and is thought to be caused by accumulation of depletion, either intercellular, extracellular, various metabolites and ions. Muscle damage is particularly pronounced in muscles which are stretched during contraction, eccentric or stretched contractions. Yeah. Here's another one, running downhill. For instance, the quadriceps group during downhill running. That's another one. Characteristically, stretch-induced muscle damage causes an immediate weakness. Stretch-induced muscle damage causes an immediate weakness, which can take a number of days to recover. Oh my gosh. In addition, the affected muscles develop soreness, swelling, stiffness, which typically become apparent 1 to 2 days after the initiating contractions. Sore and stiff muscles the day after unaccustomed and excessive exercise will be familiar to physically active individuals. That condition is being named delayed onset muscle soreness DOMS. Simultaneously, there is often substantial release of soluble muscle proteins, creatine kinase, inflammation, weakness, muscle damage, normally repaired over several weeks. Yeah, gradually repaired over several weeks, Involve a regeneration of damaged skeletal muscles from satellite cells. Oh my gosh, while a small number of stretch contractions can cause muscle damage, it is probable that much larger numbers in isometric or shortening contractions can also cause muscle damage. They can. I mean, if you don't know these things, you should study them, and then will be able to get what you want out of fucking lifting, bro. But you'll be like him, a lifting slave. He doesn't know anything. He doesn't even follow the science.
Deadlift 500, even if you didn't power lift or you weren't.
Deadlift 500, 300, 500. Like, here's the thing. If you're injecting artificial hormones, then that's not based on any natural strength, not natural growth or strength. Right? It's based on molecule strength binding with the androgen receptor, giving you that force production. But when you cease taking the steroids, the molecule, that force or strength will go away because you never built it naturally.
Respected. Nobody wanted to help you. Nobody liked that. You were a cheater. You had to pay your dues. They're like, how was everyone that strong?
He didn't pay his dues. He took drugs. I know a lot of people in the old days, 80s and 90s, they were on drugs in the gyms because they were available. They were legal. There was a lot of people on them. They were balding. They had fucking zits and shit. They looked nasty, a lot of people on steroids. They just looked bloated and fat.
And why are you guys strong? They're like, I see all these over 40 guys who are still in the game, who started in your era.
The only difference between me and Blaha, I got a problem with nerve damage. I try not to take the medication for the nerve damage. It can be excruciatingly painful. I can't even describe it to you, okay? A lot of people suffer from nerve damage out there. It's extremely painful. Some people are hocked up on painkillers for the rest of their life because they can't handle the pain of nerve damage. It can be very, how should I put it, debilitating, definitely. I try not to show it in the gym. I don't want people to discover I have an ailment. I don't even want to talk about it online. But it could be debilitating. It could fuck your strength levels too. But I try not to concentrate on that. My whole mindset is to get better. Is just to get better. Gyms are to get better. If you're going to the gym and you're not trying to get better, what is the point of being there?
You guys are all strong.
Want a gambling experience?
We
all young people are strong. Old people are weak.
Deadlift over 500 pounds and stuff still. Like, we all move decently big weights. You know, you guys.
I've seen old people, they come in the gym and then they try to press the heaviest weight. They do all the easy stuff. They want to look good. So they throw all these weights. This old dude, I remember this old dude trying to show people how to do exercises. And then he sits on a leg press. He loads the leg press with shitloads of weight. And he wants to impress people by doing short range of presses on a leg press machine. Give me a break. When I asked him if he wanted to challenge me to a sprint, like run down the hallway, let's see who could run faster. He can't run. Want to know why? Because he's weak. He has no power. Old people may be able to lift something heavy, move something heavy, standing still in an isometric movement, but they're weak because they have no power. They can't climb, they can't run, they can barely make it upstairs.
See me repping, doing rep work right now, 47, 3 plates on a pause bench, rep work.
I can tell you many people that don't have power. I can tell you people that stick with the same exercises, lifting the same weight. If they don't do variations and get new adaptations, you'll lose power over time. They're weak. They pretend they're strong. A lot of people pretend they're strong. They'll impress you with some lift that they do at the gym, but it's repetitive, the same lifts. They're repetitive. They never got any new adaptations doing something different. See what I mean? And so the truth is they're not all around strong. They may be strong on 1 or 2 lifts, like power lifters. Yeah, power lifters, they're like, well, I do the big 4. Okay, you do the big 4. But they don't do other things to get more adaptations. They don't do downhill running. They don't do, they don't do a lot of eccentric work. There's a whole bunch of things that they don't do. Specific exercises, smaller stuff. They don't do a lot of stuff, accessory, whatever you want to call it. They're not all around strong. They're not all around strong. It's pretend. Because when these power lifters go to do arm wrestling, they lose. They lose to regular wrestling, and they lose to arm wrestling, and a bunch of other things. And even in strongman, they can't do strongman competitions because they're weak. Want to know why? Because they've never done those movements to get those adaptations. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. You should do as many things as you can to get new adaptations. One thing I like about Alex Leonidas, I don't really particularly hate Alex. He does do a lot of variations to get some different adaptations, but they're minute. When I look at him, his adaptation, they're minute. He doesn't do a lot because he's too much adapted to these things now.
High bar squats, 405 for sets of, 5 of them. I'll try to get it back up to 10. I just did 7 reps today with 500 pounds on a conventional deadlift.
Yeah, I did 7 reps today, 500 pounds on conventional deadlift. It's all bullshit.
With full resets, closing in on 50.
Look how tiny he is, man. Look how small he is. Look how small and tiny he is. He's scared to do anything that makes him look bad. If he tries to do something that he's unaccustomed to doing, any exercise, he'll fail at it. He'll fail and look bad. And so he's scared somebody might copy it. Oh, if I show it on my channel, somebody might film it and put it up and make more fun of me. They'll make more fun of me because I'm trying to get a new adaptation, doing something I've never done fucking before. See what I mean?
So why are the guys from that era strong? Why did we have those strength standards? Why was that an expectation? Your baseline strength? Are you guys are like, are you crazy?
I can prove Blaha is weak. He's weak. I can put him in competitions as strongman. He's weak. I can put him in gymnastics. He's weak. I can put him in a race to run down the street. I told you, why doesn't he ever run? Why doesn't he ever do any sports? I can put him on ice skates and show you how weak he is skating. I can prove it. Tell him to ice skate. Tell him to put on the skates and tell him to come right now, today. Just today. No practice, nothing. Just jump on he's so strong, right? Tell him to put on a pair of ice skates and fucking jump on the ice right now so he doesn't have to practice at it. Right now, jump on it. Let's see him skate. Right now, let's see him sprint 100 meters down the street. Let's see him sprint right now. No practice, nothing. I want to see him sprint. I want to see him do an arm wrestling fucking match right now with no practice, nothing. Let's see if it's a carryover. Let's see if this powerlifting is a carryover to any sport. It's all bullshit. Garbage.
Now, granted, that 300 didn't always mean a pause back then. It could be a bounce off your chest. Like, how did you guys get so strong? Because everyone lifted heavy.
How did you get so strong? How did you get so good at doing those lifts? Because you practiced at them, that's why. But you're shit at everything else.
We all did the basic lifts. Like I was saying in that other video, when you came to the gym, people taught you. They took you under their wing, all the OGs.
Oh, yeah, when you went to the gym, they took you under the wing. Oh, geez, they taught you. He's so full of shit. Generation. What generation? I'm older than him by 10 years. What generation? Nobody took you under your wing, nothing. You just observed people in the gym when you came in there, and you would mimic what they were doing in exercises. And you would fail like the rest of them along. You'd follow the fucking piper and fail with the rest of them.
Helped you. And the women helped the women. There was a bit of a divide there. The women who lifted, they would give advice and help all the girls.
Here's the old saying: you must be willing to do the things today that other people are not willing to do, in order to have the things tomorrow that other people will not have. Get it, dude?
Amen. Right? They'd help them out. Normal. Guys, you come into the gym, dude, you come into a serious gym back in the day, an old school iron gym 25 years ago, 30 years ago, you walk into a gym like that, people are going to teach you immediately.
He's lying. Nobody ever taught me anything in any gym that I went to. And I went to a lot of gyms back in the day. Nobody taught you or tried to explain anything to you, do anything. The gym I go to now, nobody talks to anybody.
They're going to teach you how to squat. They're going to teach you how to bench press. We're going to talk to you about a routine. So how did we train? How did everyone eat? Well, everyone knew you had to get big.
I'll tell you what they do now in the gym. They just mumble to themselves. They walk around you and they mumble. He's on steroids. He must be on steroids. He's on steroids. See, anytime you achieve your goal, you must be on steroids. Well, look at him. He's so big. Well, look at us. We're all skinny. Okay. He's so big, you're so skinny. What are you doing? What's he doing differently than you? Why don't you ask him what he's doing, and maybe he'll tell you.
You had to get strong to look like you lift. So even if you just wanted to be really jacked.
You have to be strong to look like you lift? Well, if you get a stronger, you don't get a bigger and walk in the street, you won't look like you lift, like JasonBlaha. He looks like he doesn't lift. Look at him in this shirt. Tiny, extra small shirt.
We all knew you had to eat. We all knew you had to lose some serious weight for a lot of reps. That was the difference. Wasn't, oh, we're not talking about a max. It's like, I don't know, how much weight can you do 15, 20 reps with a squat? Okay, that's how we trained. That is what we were taught. And so why were we strong? Because we had bench contests all the time.
He's lying. I don't know anybody that did contests in gyms. You could go to a contest, but gyms aren't for contests. That's bullshit. There's nobody there competing in a gym with somebody. They're all working out. They're all trying to get better. That's just stupid. The truth is, you're moving for muscle damage. That is really the goal of going to a gym, to move for some muscle damage to get a new adaptation. But the majority of people in the gym, they've adapted because it's a rapid adaptation process. They don't know that. They don't understand that. And so they stay there lifting the exact same weights, exact same exercise, and become a lifting gym slave. That's what I'm trying to explain in my channel.
You walk into those gyms, the community was, if the guys were all benching, and you happen to walk in that morning or that afternoon, and there's 17 dudes having a bench off, guess what? They're dragging you over. You're going to max out on the bench. They're having a chin-up contest. If the gym bros are all having a friendly chin-up contest, they're going to start rounding everyone up in the gym, and you're going to do chin-ups for max reps. See who can do the most. That was normal gym life. Okay? We all thought that we were supposed to build our base on 20 rep squats, like the Widowmaker programs. And what that means is, and I
whether environmental, bio
on these, you take a weight you can get 10 reps with. This again comes out of like Texas football programs for high school down here.
Again, he's just somebody that got good at these movements that he keeps doing day in and day out. That's all he has become, good at doing those movements like a factory worker. His body has adapted. There are no more adaptations. And I discovered that the adaptation process is part of the regenerative process, regeneration. If you don't get more adaptations, then if you don't use it, you lose it. You'll lose these satellite cells. They won't regenerate and increase in number for future regenerative demands. And so that's why he's suffering from sarcopenia. He keeps doing the exact same exercise in an adapted state, regardless of getting any more adaptations. Thus, he is wearing down the satellite cell pool. He's using it up. And so he's suffering from sarcopenia. But he's trying to use reasoning, mental illness reasoning with you on this channel to try to convince you that you need to get strong, you need to be good at lifting a heavy weight, and all this stupid shit without getting any new adaptations. If you don't consistently try to get a new adaptation, if you don't use it, you'll lose it. That's the old saying.
Take a weight you can do at least 10 reps with, and you get to 20. You don't rack it till you get 20. So you might get to 11 or 12, then you need a few.
Here's the thing. I would rather not look so great in my videos, but getting a new adaptation than looking good and pretending like Blaha. See what I mean?
Seconds, you get another rep. Need a few seconds, you get another rep. You might need 8 seconds. You might need 10 seconds to get to rep 19 or 20. You keep the bar on your back till you reach it, till you get to that 20. And if you can't, the weight's too heavy. You get to that.
Till you get to that 20, the weight's too heavy. Okay. So how do you adapt so the weight's not heavy? How do you adapt? How do you get your body to adapt so that the weight is not heavy?
20, then you rack it. Okay. Then you go do your other lifts. You didn't necessarily do a bunch of squatting after that. Is it not you didn't either, like, one set of 20 reps on a heavy.
Does Blaha ever play any sports In the summertime, I go swimming. I go swimming to the lake, the pool. I swim a lot in the summertime, man. I swim a lot because I get a new adaptation. That's how I'm able to maintain a lot of my density in my muscle. I get a lot of adaptations. I do swimming, I do running, I do some climbing. I do a lot of stuff, man. I play soccer, I play football. Yeah. I do a lot of different types of sports. I ride a bike, I do skateboarding. I enjoy doing a variety of different stuff. You think Blaha's good at skateboarding? You think he can skateboard the very first time he goes on a skateboard? Of course not. You have to adapt to it. See what I mean? Your legs have to get strong within these fibers. They have to get strong to those movements. It's called an adaptation process. But like I said, I guess people, they don't understand that. Everything that you do, whether any type of physical activity, you will get an adaptation in what? Muscle stretch damage. It has to adapt. Those fibers in that muscle has to adapt to make you stronger. Otherwise, you'd always be in a shaky, weakened state doing it.
Squat pretty much to failure. Your legs are going to grow. You're good. You did your real work for the workout. Now you can go do your benching and your pullovers, and yeah, those were normal still back then. Your
Bodybuilding's a lot more tougher when you're trying to get new adaptations out of lifting because you've already adapted. So you need to figure out how to get more adaptations in a gym out of something that is exactly the same.
curls, because everyone curled. But things like bench, chin-ups, squats, these were the staple lifts. This is what everybody did. We all curled and stuff too. Everyone did these exercises, everybody, and they went heavy.
No. When I was going to the gyms back then, I never seen anybody do deadlifting. I was a stubborn person when it came to squats. Then my squat became the very best thing. The squat became the very best thing for me to do. I never liked deadlifts though, but the squat was the best thing. I thought that was the best thing to do, squat. But yeah, you should do all around everything. So you're good at doing these things. Yeah, you should do them all, really. I'm not against deadlifting or anything like that. I'm just saying you should do a variety of things to get more adaptations. I actually just started to do some deadlifting now again to get some more adaptations. I'm not throwing the weight on the ground. I'm following through with the eccentric movement because I want a better adaptation out of it.
People would push you. They would come over and scream, you can do a couple more. People would push you. It was a different...
Yeah, I don't know anybody pushing you in the gym or doing anything back then. But people were more friendly, and it was a different environment. People were more into the gym back then. Gyms are not that full now anymore like they were in the past. They were all the rave at the beginning. But people, the lifestyles and everything, they get busy and stuff. So the gyms are not as favorable as they were in the past. Yeah, they don't really care about that whole cosmetic look and everything. They just want to do whatever they want to do now.
Environment, it was a different world. How did everyone eat? We all thought we were supposed to drink tons of milk. Squats and milk, that's how you got big. You can cut later. That was, again, the mantra. It was not this idea today. And even though I'm big on saying, look, we can lean bulk, we can get lean, we can stay lean, I do say that.
I don't remember any of that stuff, trying to get lean or anything like that. It was just about lifting weights, going to the gym. You didn't even know what you were shooting for. You just went there to lift because everybody else was doing it.
People weren't really doing that back then unless they were big already. They didn't do that unless they were big. They didn't care. They didn't worry about having abs until they were 200 pounds. You get to 200, then you cut down and you get your abs. And that was how it was. So not saying everyone had great physiques, but they were all strong. Everybody got strong. And without gear, before they went on gear, you were expected to be.
They went on gear because they're fucking erotic. You were expected to be? Man, he's really delusional.
How did everyone eat? It was all post-workout nutrition, tons and tons and tons of protein.
Tons and tons and tons of protein. Yeah, I remember people carrying eggs with them, the majority of people, but they ate carbs too. But they carried these things, and especially eggs, they ate people would just like choke them down all the time. They would carry eggs with them because they were scared they were going to lose their gains. They didn't even know what gains they got, why they were losing them, whether it's contractile protein or sarcoplasmic. It's the sarcoplasmic that goes the fastest. The contractile proteins, if you build them, they don't just go away so fast, man. They don't just like dissipate away so quickly.
It got it went down later. Everyone dropped it down to, oh, you need the 1 gram per pound of body weight. And we know it's less. Everyone for a while during that era was like, oh, we need like 2 grams
I didn't know that. Nobody ever said that back then. What's he talking about?
per pound of body weight. Guys, we're literally telling you if you want to get big, you need like 100 grams of protein post-workout. People were doing.
No, I just thought you had to eat a lot. That's about it. And people used a lot of liquid amino acids and tablets. They thought tablets were going to build a muscle or something. They had no clue that it was based on an adaptation process. That's how you initiate building muscle, and through an adaptation. Had nothing to do with what you ate, and nothing to do with amino acids. Nothing. Has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with getting a new adaptation, because everything rapidly adapts.
Doing crazy stuff like that all the time. It was normal. It was normal. And that's what I was told. Yeah, after you work out, 2 scoops of this, get your 50 grams of whey protein, mix all this milk in it and all these aminos. And you have to chug that immediately before you leave the gym.
If you hold Bitcoin on an exchange,
Before you leave the gym. Now, we know that's, a little silly, a little ridiculous.
That was stupid, man. People were carrying like protein powders and stuff back in the day. But a good majority of people would just drink like chocolate milk or just milk. They buy a carton 1 liter and just chug it down. So yeah.
But we got big. I'm not saying the science supports that. We know some of that's been
Okay, you just got big with fluid, drinking a gallon of milk a day. Okay, great.
way overhyped. I'm fully aware of this.
Yes.
But
Yes.
we get big, eat steak and peanut butter.
That's stupid stuff. Look, I finally understood what bodybuilding and lifting and getting strong and bigger and all this kind of stuff was in the late 90s. That's when I finally understood it. And that's when I built my body. And then I reached the goal and it was over. It was over. There wasn't anywhere else to go after 285 pounds. Where was going to go? I could have gone even heavier. I could have got bigger and even stronger. But what was the point? You know what I mean? I was already a monster at 285. That was way, way too big already. Nothing would fit, man. Nothing would fit. So I don't know. Like I said, yeah, you reach a goal and then it's over. See what I mean? Here's the thing. I think a lot of people basically are scared to reach the goal because if they reach their goal in the gym, then the goal is over and they are scared maybe they'll quit. So they like being a gym slave, a lifting slave for the rest of their life, going in there forever, never reaching the goal. It's like pretend reach the goal, not reach the goal. Maybe I reached it. Maybe I'll reach it. I don't know. And then they love to complain about everybody else or everything around them, because they don't want to reach the goal themselves. I don't know.
A big deal where I lived at the time. So if you're eating like that every day, you're eating steak and natural peanut butter.
I think people, they say they want to get big and strong, but the truth is, I think they're scared to get big. That's the problem. They're scared because they'll reach the goal.
Okay. Post-workout, you're getting 70 to 100 grams of protein immediately before you leave the gym. And you're training like that, doing 20 rep squats and stuff. Do you think you're going to get strong? When you're going to the gym and people are competing to see who can bench the most?
Will you get strong on those lifts? On those lifts? You're not going to get strong. You're not strong in arm wrestling. You're not strong running down the street. What are you talking about, Blaha? You're not strong at swimming doing that. What are you talking about?
So you can do the most chin-ups. You're doing the 20.
See, he just wants you to get strong at doing the chin-ups and doing some kind of lift and this and that. A couple of things, but are you strong at everything else? Not really. He's not strong. Like I said, I could prove your coach is weak, okay? He's weak. He's not strong. He's pretend strong.
20 rep squats, like all this stuff. Do you think you're going to not get strong? Okay.
You think you're not going to get strong? you're not. You're going to get strong at doing that lift, but you're not going to get overall strong, because muscles have different type of fiber types that make you strong at just about everything that's out there in this world that the body needs to adapt to. You understand me? Whether it's swimming, running, I don't know, climbing, whatever it is you're doing, it is made specifically to adapt to every movement and every action that you take out there. And it's based on different types of muscle fiber types. Yeah. So you may be strong at one thing, but weak at other things.
Keeping in mind, it was not isolated people not talking to each other in gyms back then. We didn't have these. We didn't have AirPods. Maybe you had a Walkman. Okay? Maybe.
This guy's the definition of a lifting slave, gym slave. I'm going to leave it at that, man. Tell me what you think about that. Like, subscribe. Comment down below, because it's going way too long. Helps with the algorithm. I'll see you in the next one. JasonBlaha.
You listen to DVDs. Sorry, CDs, not DVDs.
Yeah, okay, whatever, Jason.
Everyone was competitive. Everyone pushed you.
Everyone was competitive. Everybody pushed you. It's all bullshit. Nobody did. I'll see you in the next one. You're independent, bro. I gotta go. Ciao, friends.